Awesome stay. It is way too late, but I had things to take care of, so I want to thank Dan and Root for having me and letting me stay a little later to get some things done. Technology, phone, I'll explain it later. Frustrated, but I think I got it done. I'm not 100% positive, but tomorrow night I'll be indoors again and can make sure, because I think the deadline for one video that I need to do is tomorrow. So I'll explain that. But yeah, I'm going to pack up as soon as possible with also not rushing and forgetting anything. Get on trail. I got 27 miles to Talladega, and that gets me to Next Step Hostel. So that's the plan. Everything was good here. I can't say enough. It was really awesome to stay out of the rain. Overcast, a little wet on the ground, but I got out of the most of it, and I think it's going to not be super cold. I'm back on the trail. Another late start after staying indoors, but I don't regret it at all, especially on this because I had a bunch of things to do. I've explained what I'm filming on with the iPhone 8s, and I was completely filled up. It's only a 64 gigabyte, so all last night I was uploading videos and some pictures, but mostly videos, to Google Photos so I could free up room to keep filming. And then I also, I guess keep saying if I do the AT, but I just sent my intro video for anyone who's familiar with Tara Treks, and she's been doing those videos for quite some years now. So I edited my video. I had a little trouble, I think just because I don't know what it was, but she wanted everyone to upload on Google Drive, and other people have had trouble too. So I end up emailing her the video because the deadline is tomorrow. Now, I was under pressure because, of course, I did it last minute. I needed to free up storage. That was goal number one. And I didn't shoot and edit the video until later this morning after I got all that done. And then by the time I packed out, it was much later. But thank you to Green Hippie Hiker Hostel, Daniel, and Root. They were very patient. I told them what I was doing, and Daniel actually said he was like an OG famous YouTube person way back in the day before it was really even known. So that was pretty cool. So they understood what I was doing, and I said, as long as I'm not inconveniencing you, can I hang out and finish this up? And they did, and they let me do that. So I can't thank them enough. So worth the late start. Plus, it is 27 miles to Talladega. So if I can do, I think there's a campsite that said it was sheltered from the wind. So if I can get there, that was 9 miles, and I've already been hiking for a little bit. It is after 2, but I think that's my plan. I'm gonna get to that campsite. Hopefully all this burns off. It's not really raining. It's kind of like we're in the cloud, or I'm in the clouds, and the raindrops you hear, I think, are blowing off the trees. It's not too windy, but the wind every once in a while picks up. So yeah, those are some of the things I had to get done that I mentioned earlier. Personal things. So I did that, and I'm off and hiking, and if I knock 9 off the 27, and then I can do, what would that be, 18 tomorrow, and a much needed 0 day in Talladega at the Next Step Hostel, which Daniel actually called ahead. He said that he's friends with the owners there, so they know I'm coming Monday and Tuesday night, and then I may talk to them depending on how I feel, whether I actually take a true 0, which I said, or maybe I hike 10-15 miles and then just get picked up continuously going Sobo, just to set up an earlier finish. So that way I'm not scrambling to finish the same day that I need to catch a bus, or at least not have to do a big day the same day I have to catch a bus. to then get there at night to then catch an early morning flight the next day. So that was a long-winded plan, and it's foggy, so yeah, there we go. It's kind of ridge walking, a lot of, as I just showed, like angled rocks, and they're all wet, so slippery, so slower going, gotta be a little careful. I don't know if I showed you before, but I picked up a trekking pole just with the tendonitis or shin splint. I still haven't figured it out. We were talking at the hostel, I thought tendonitis, he thought shin splint, but it helps just take a little weight off, and I'm glad I picked it up with this. Not the best trekking pole, but it's gonna go right back into a hiker box when I'm done with this hike. So yeah, a little bit slower going, but I have a few options to camp. The wind goes in and out, but it's really not raining. It's just, as I said before, blowing rain off the tree, or blowing water off the tree, mimicking rain, I should say. So yeah, slower going, but it's just after 3. I have some time. The one campsite I want to get to is just under 5 miles, but there's a few before that. And I know I do the Stairway to Heaven, Alabama's version, because where I grew up, there's a Stairway to Heaven on the Appalachian Trail. A lot of you might be familiar, in New Jersey, but just on the border of New York. But this is the Alabama Pinhoti Stairway to Heaven. But I believe going Sobo, I am going down, which honestly on a rainy day like this is probably a little bit more difficult than going up. So, all right, let's keep going. So I'm not gonna take too much video because it's getting dark quick. It's 4:09, probably 4:10, and it's gonna be a difficult decline down Stairway to Heaven here. I looked at the elevation profile, and it is a steep descent that is coming up. But after the descent, my campsite that I want to get to is not too much further. I heard it is difficult to kind of see where the trail's going during this, but just kind of keep heading down, and you'll see a blaze at some point. Other people going northbound said keep heading up, and you'll see a blaze at some point. So I'm gonna get it done now. I thought about camping, but with the wind on the ridge, there was a comment that this campsite is sheltered from the wind a little bit, so that's something I'm looking forward to getting to and making my day tomorrow. Still gonna be a long day, but a little bit easier. But anything to me under 20, I can't do what I did the other day and really take my time at the campsite, but knowing I'm getting to Next Step Hostel just gives me the motivation to get those miles and get into town. So I'm excited. It's just kind of calm before the storm, not in terms of the storm that's around or that's lingering. I thought it was going to already be done by now, but the calm before the descent, I should say. So I'm going to put this away. I don't want to bang my toes and ankle and tendonitis worse than it already is. I don't know if you can see me, if I'm even going to use this video, but that just sucked. The ending part of Stairway to Heaven, I got definitely off trail, and it was just like big rocks and boulders and leaves, and like when you'd step on the leaves, there would be no under rocks under them. It was like post-holing in snow. Like some of them went super deep, and of course occasionally I was hitting my sore shin and ankle, and so I was cursing. Now that I have a trekking pole, I at least have a frustration stick as well if I really need to hit something when I get aggravated. When I trip like that, fuck that, fucking right in my fucking toe. Oh yeah. All right, well, I think the worst of the descent is over. Headlamps on. It is, I I don't think it's just the wind. It is lightly raining. And I'm gonna get to the campsite that says it's shielded from the rain, even if I walk in the dark slightly. Set up camp, get warm, go to sleep, and then after a long dark night, wake up and get to Next Step Hostel, which from the beginning, I don't know why, I was really excited about that hostel, just looking into it. Yep, there's actually a trail now. All right, so yeah, that's where I'm at. It's really not that cold. It might get cold as a low, but I'll be in my bag and hopefully everything will be dry. I have my dry clothes, so yeah, that sucked. But it was also probably dumb of me to do that right as the sun's going down and it's already foggy and cloudy, but I should be at my campsite soon, and tomorrow's a new day. Oh, good morning. It is 6 something, probably 6:30, 6:40. I haven't done anything. Motivation to pack up is low. Hike, is what it is, but 18 miles, and then Talladega, Next Step Hostel, staying out of the 20-something degree lows for the next couple nights, so that's good. And I'm excited to get to like a town with some good food options. I'm hungry. I had to turn my headlamp on and walk to this campsite. It was pretty dark and it was raining when I got here, and I was just over it, and I was cold and it was wet, and I set up my tent and I just literally crawled in the bag and went to sleep. Like, I had a couple snacks that I brought in my tent with me to eat, and I didn't even eat them. I didn't cook dinner. Yeah, so I'm hungry. I'm gonna eat all day. I've just like a bunch of things I can just eat as I'm hiking. But yeah, I had ramen to cook, and I just decided, screw that. It was wet, it was cold, and I got here after dark, and I just didn't want to be bothered with any of that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to eating a lot of food in town. I don't even know what options they have, but from what I've heard, there's a lot. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm thinking about food. I'm gonna go make coffee, start packing up as I make coffee, and get moving as quick as I can, I guess. It's gonna be somewhat slow, but as long as I make it into town before dark, that's all that counts. All right, had my beanie on, had my gloves on, had this fully zipped up. Another morning where it just was really cold. Nose running from it being cold. Had to put on wet shoes, damp to wet pants. Near the bottom, they're definitely wet. And yeah, it just took me a while to get warm. I've seen other hiking, backpacking, either on YouTube or like old school documentaries. Like if anyone has ever seen Trek, they filmed that in 2001. I remember that because they were on the trail for September 11th. But one of the kids said the rain is what could break them, the weather and the constant rain. Well, for me, it's the cold. Cold, waking up in the middle of the night, which I didn't last night. I actually slept really well. But just packing up in the morning it sucks. I mean, there's no other way to put it. Maybe some people thrive in the cold and like it. I am definitely a summer, spring, but especially summer and even fall before it gets super cold. But yeah, having the mornings be in the 20s and the 30s, oftentimes on this, like today was definitely 30s, not 20s, but still, it takes so long when you're in the middle of the woods for the sun to come up and heat things up, and it just takes a long time to get going. So that's where I'm at. Cold's breaking me a little bit, but I did a quick over over a mile very quickly. Starting to take some layers off. This jacket's probably next to go, but I'm gonna keep it on just for a second, zipped open. And yeah, so under 17 miles to go now until I get to the road where I'm gonna hitch into Talladega. And oh, food. I think I said, like, sometimes it's like I look forward to a shower most, I look forward to just sleeping indoors most. I mean, I'm looking forward to all those things, but I think on this one it's just going to a restaurant, sitting up at the bar, maybe order a beer, I don't know, maybe even a glass of wine, and but just looking at that menu and ordering a ton of food is what I'm excited for. That's what I'm looking forward to. So yeah, I'm gonna keep hiking. I have to get better when I do the AT. I'm gonna start saying when I do the AT this year. I will be better at getting more shots of the trail, but with the limited hours and with it being cold, it's harder to stop. And I've gotten some shots, and I do stop occasionally, but not nearly as much as I should to make even better videos out of the trail. But this was kind of a beta test for me, and I think I'm doing all right. We'll see. I haven't edited anything when I go back and put all this together, but yeah, I would definitely, there's going to be different approaches on the AT when it comes to filming and then even hiking. Like, I've learned some things here, but I want to definitely do it in warmer weather. The cold is what can break me. The cold just gets to me, especially when it affects my sleep. It really, which it didn't last night. I was warm and comfortable, but it didn't get as low as it had in previous nights, and as low as it's going to get tonight, which is why I'm sleeping indoors. So yeah, the cold sucks, and just makes everything less enjoyable. But about this trail, you do get warm temperatures during the middle of the day. You know, it gets into the 50s when the sun comes up, sometimes even low 60s. So you can see it is just rocky and wet leaves, and then rocks hidden underneath it. So a little frustrating going through here. It's been like this for a while. A lot of trails are really rocky, honestly, but especially since Chehaw State Park and all the way through here. So a little bit slower, not as cruisy as it was. That section from Cave Spring to Heflin was just nice, and this not so nice. Are you just maintaining the trail?
My home number and email.
Okay.
I don't check my.
Yeah.
I got a flip phone, so I don't check it very often. So. But that's.
Man, what a resume.
Yeah, I did a lot. You keep it.
I'm definitely gonna keep it.
And if you need help, there's plenty more. There's a hostel in Talladega.
I'm going Next Step Hostel. Yeah, that's where I'm going tonight. It's gonna get real cold.
Jeff Hayes.
Jeff is his name?
Nancy.
Okay. Nancy, yeah.
They'll do a shuttle for you. And then,
yeah. I don't know if you can hear that, but I've heard freight trains for a while, and now we're getting real close. We're also edging this property. Don't know what these cabins exactly are. That's where the railroad tracks are, making all the noise. It's beautiful in here. Don't know what that private retreat that we walked through is about, but this is awesome. Awesome stuff. Sun setting. Not yet 3:30, but getting close. and I can hear the road that I will attempt to hitch into Talladega, because I have about 0 phone battery on the phone that has service, and I'm hoping I have enough battery to see which way. I think I need to go, I'm going south, trail west, so my right when I get to the road crossing, hitch that way, but I want to check before I throw a thumb out. And then they're like, where are you going? And we're just driving in the wrong direction. But to me, on a long day, when you're getting into town and you have the last mile, it's like your victory lap. You're like, yes, I can feel the warmth of a bed and the food, but it's probably gonna be a beer. But I don't know. I gotta think on that one. Depends where I go, what I get. But yeah, I'm in the home stretch, the victory lap here. If there are people around, I'd be kissing babies, signing titties, and yeah, just waving, shaking hands. But there is no one out here, so I'm just walking into town instead. But you get the point.